We are back at Ferrari of Central Florida, and today we have a Ferrari Purosangue. This is a car that arrived to the dealership, and you know what? I gotta say, it looks a lot better in person. For starters, we have the wheels. They are 22s up front, 23s in the rear. The carbon fiber wheel arches are independent of the rest of the car's body. You've got carbon ceramics all around. Look at that carbon fiber, and obviously they are also vented as well because this is a Ferrari. The rear end of the car is very 296 SF90 inspired. The taillights are very reminiscent of the 296 GTB or GTS. You have quad exhaust, more carbon fiber on the rear diffuser. The profile, yes, I know the profile's gotten some flack here and there about looking like a Mazda, but you know what? It's still really muscular, beautiful, clean lines. I'm still not sure I'm convinced about the headlights being a little peculiar, but it is fairly aggressive when you are up close to it in person. Here's an interesting new detail that a lot of modern Ferraris have these days. It's the door handles. Now, unlike a lot of door handles that pop out, these are pushed in, and then you pull and open the door. So it's very, very interesting. The little latch over here, you pull on that, and you keep holding it, keep pulling on it to continuously open the door. When you let go of that little latch, the door will stop opening. So keep that in mind if you ever check out one of these cars. The interior, obviously, look at that leather. It is beautiful. There is a lot of light thanks to the glass panel. These seats do recline, they do move forward. There's not a whole lot of movement, but as you can see, it's more than you would imagine for a car of this size. Headroom's actually surprisingly good. It's not quite as good as an Aston Martin DBX 707 or the Urus, obviously, but it's still pretty solid. This is a four-seater car. As you can tell, there is a partition in the middle, a console in the middle. This Kevlar material over here has a weird texture and sound to it. It's very plasticky. Fortunately, it's an option, but it's an odd option because it doesn't feel very premium. Now look at that massive hinge to hold that suicide door open, and take a look at the details in this carbon fiber. That is infused with copper. So no, your eyes do not deceive you. You are actually seeing some orange bits of copper infused into that carbon fiber weave. And on top of that, yes, you do have a button to open the door. Let's take a look at the rear over here. There's actually plenty of legroom, surprisingly enough. So again, not a very large car, but plenty of legroom, and you do have a button to close the door as well, as you would in a Rolls-Royce, for example. There's your little center console. You can operate some of the functions, some such as the infotainment for the back seats. You've got some climate controls, lock and unlock. Got a little storage area over here again with this weird Kevlar material that is actually bulletproof according to Ferrari themselves. And there's the button to operate the door. It looks really cool. Really, really cool with everything open like that. I have to admit, I am very impressed by the interior of this car. Now, unfortunately, the interior tech is still very much modern day Ferrari. It's borrowed from the 296, it's borrowed from the SF90, and it's a thing that a lot of people gripe about. You don't have anything really in the middle here apart from the shifter that is an homage to the gated shifters of past. The glove compartment is not that big either. It's not very generous. Probably got a few inches in there, as you could tell. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of room in there. You could fit a couple of booklets, etc. Let's take one last look at that copper-infused carbon fiber. That looks amazing. Purosangue still has the passenger side screen in case you desire that. They have made one small change. As you can tell, this is still largely the same interface, but the steering wheel, you see these little cutouts and the directional cutout over there as well. So that makes things a little bit easier when you're scrolling through menus as opposed to having one flat panel on each side. You've got these little cutouts for your Bluetooth, for your directional buttons, etc., etc. But overall, mostly the exact same thing as any other modern day Ferrari steering wheel, but it is a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit more functional. I still prefer that they would have a center screen in a console somewhere instead, but this is a step in the right direction. Further revisions also include directional cutouts over there for the mirror controls. Let's just take a look at those details one more time. That carbon fiber. Wow. Just beautiful. We've got wireless charging over there. We've got some cup holders right here. There's the key. More on that in a second. And this is your storage console. And let's take a look. Yeah. Not a whole lot of space going on here. It's very minimal. That's a good looking key. Carbon fiber on the sides. Nice little felt leather in the front. And because this is an SUV, let's take a look at the trunk space. And it's decent for what it is. Not class leading, but it's a Ferrari, and this is better than nothing. Take a look at that plaque right there. That's the specs of this particular demo car. For a little bit of visual context and some perspective, I've dropped in my camera bag in here to kind of give you an idea of just how big this trunk is. Again, not massive. As you can see, it's kind of noticeable in there. But that just gives you an overall idea of the trunk space of this Ferrari Purosangue. And let's close this up. Gotta say, I do love some of the details on this car. Like these carbon fiber ventilated wheel arches. They are so cool. And again, the more I look at this unusual front end, the more it grows on me. And as I mentioned, carbon ceramic rotors all around, 22s in the front, 23-inch wheels in the back, so they are staggered. And once again, a view of that vent of the carbon fiber wheel arch, as well as the carbon fiber side skirts. Here's some more functional aero for you. There's one running over the hood. Of course, where the headlights traditionally would be, those are vents. There is a front vent to that wheel arch. There's more front aero beneath that front spoiler. There is so much aero in the front of this car, it's incredible. And here's some more aero for you, a spoiler integrated into the rear deck. And here are the specs for the Purosangue. You can expect 715 American horsepower, 528 pound-feet of torque. That is an advantage over the Aston Martin 707 horsepower, but disadvantage to the Aston Martin's torque figures. Look at the V12. We know this is going to be the best performing car of that bunch. Between the Urus, between the Aston Martin, this is the one that's going to perform the best on the road, on the track, etc. It's not going to be as spacious as the other two, but as far as dynamics are concerned, this is a Ferrari, and this is the one that's going to win your heart. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.